Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi of the JQK Immigration Law Firm headquartered in Los Angeles, California, but helping people from across the globe come and live in the United States and with their loved ones that work and strive here and reach their American dream. Today we're doing our regular Wednesday Q&A. Today is 11/11, lucky numbers. We're talking about U.S. immigration, taking your general questions for educational purposes. Wednesday, 5 p.m. every Wednesday, Los Angeles time or Pacific time. 5 p.m. taking your questions from people from across the world. Anna Preet, thanks for joining us. And updates, and there's so many things that happen in immigration, so many unknowns. We'll try to touch upon some of them because it's just so wild, all the things that are going on. So with that, let's get it started. All right, everyone, as people start coming in on YouTube, JQK Law Firm YouTube page, live on Instagram, JK Law Firm, and on TikTok, as we get people coming in, and the questions as well coming in, I want to remind you that I have the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's a free, no-cost ebook that you can get if you're interested in the marriage green card process, the fiance process, what it entails, strategies, all that kind of stuff. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and make sure to include that www part and put that in and download the PDF. It's 41 pages, I believe, and it really breaks down the process really well. So you have a good strategy of moving forward before you pull the trigger. You either move your case forward or you talk with a lawyer. You have the information and education knowledge that you need to get things going there. Okay, so we have people joining. Marina, thank you for joining as well. Betsy, Amanashar. Peter has our first question. Hi, I won everything lottery. I think you won the green card lottery, and I was 17. I also have an F1 visa. I'm at university in the U.S. Is that okay? Well, I'm not sure I don't know the details. I can't remember exactly the details about the green card lottery. If you could apply for it if you're under 18. So that's something I have to look up. So if you're under 18, I'm not sure if you could have applied in the first place. But if you can, or you might mean that your family won the green card lottery, your parents did, so you'd come under that. It is possible to just file for adjustment of status in the U.S. I've helped people have a case like that before. That's no problem. You just have to do some things here and there. Your parents have to enter the U.S. There's some stuff that you have to handle. Definitely you should consult an immigration attorney because they made it so complicated. But the first thing is I double check to see if you could even enter the green card lottery at age 17. But the rest is possible if things move forward and stuff. And so there's a lot of different things that are involved. You may just need to go back to your home country to get the green card. But there's so much going on with the travel bans and the delays in the case and your age and a thing called follow to join. That's a technical term for immigration that we really need to figure it out. Sandeep, good to see you. Jignesh, good to see you. Marina from Lawrence, Massachusetts, thank you. Thanks, Jignesh. Jignesh says, you look extra fresh today. Thank you. Dar Pratel asks, do you think Trump will extend after 31st of December? At interview stage, what do you think about that? When can I get my interview? Well, I don't fully understand your question. Trump extend, I'm not sure what that means. Whether you have your interview or not is up to the local USCIS field office or the embassy, whether they are open and have the time to talk with you. So it has nothing to do with Trump, and more has to do with the case. It depends on what kind of case you have. Some may be affected by Trump's previous travel bans. December 31st, you probably mean the extension actually of the travel bans for employment-based cases and all that. What do I think? I don't, there's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of channels talk about what's going to happen now that Biden's here, this and that. But who knows? I don't have no power over this. This is a private communication with him, Department of Homeland Security, Stephen Miller, his assistant, all that kind of stuff. So it's not realistic for me to give any answer other than hopefully things will work to your benefit. But realistically, that's something I would know, anyone else would know or claim to know, other than just making stuff up just to get views. Namesh says, is it a good time to apply for work visa? I mean, if you want to come and work in the United States, yeah, it's a great time to file for work visa. It's not a question that can be answered. It really depends on the facts of your individual case. Yasin says, what's the status of F2 visas? I don't know what the status is. If you're a spouse or child of an F1 visa holder, then you could potentially come and visit the United States. I'm not sure what you mean what the status is. It is. I don't know. Estefan asks, can a person get a stimulus check with just a social security number? That's a tax-related question. Social Security, the stimulus checks are going out to people that are U.S. persons. As the way it was sent out, U.S. persons are usually green card holders or citizens. So you need to have more. One of them is they wanted a Social Security number, but sometimes there's exceptions for that. Arsalan asks, my I-750 removal conditions is out of normal processing times. How can I expedite? Well, it's not really an expedite at this point. If you're out of processing times, it's just do a regular case. So if it's out of regular processing times, you go to the USCIS.gov system and notify them it's taking outside the processing times. If they don't answer at all in the next 30 days, or it's not a positive message, maybe contacting your local congressperson. At the same time, maybe you should have filed U.S. citizenship if that was appropriate, and that could help loosen things up and maybe be quicker. So just talk with an immigration attorney in private, but the idea is not an expedite if it's taking past regular processing time. It's just normal processing time. So keep an eye on that. We have a question on YouTube. Peter follows up. I'm the one who won the lottery, not my family. Yeah, Peter. So as I said, I just don't, I can't recall if you have to be 18 or over to get the green card lottery. But look that up, and then yeah, you can adjust status if you're in proper status. Just file for adjustment of status when your case becomes current. Sandeep, good evening, sir. Good evening to you too, Sandeep. Dara Patel asks, I'm an F2A spouse of a green card holder. My interview was canceled and my embassy is open. Do you think immigration ban will extend after 31st of December? I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll see. Just have to be patient. Hopefully it doesn't. Because right now there's a ban on spouses of green card holders, not citizens, but green card holders from coming to the United States because of the COVID-19 travel ban that President Trump instituted. Akiar says, with the rules of immigration changes, will the rules of immigration change next year? Will they become more easy for immigration to come? It's not impossible to answer that question. The rules change every day. Some will be easier, some will be harder. Some will affect people negatively, some will affect positively. For example, there's been legislation that's been talked about very seriously about opening up the numbers of Indian nationals that could get work permits. But if they open those numbers out, it's going to crowd out people from across the world, other people that would usually take up that place in line. So there's a big contingent of people, hundreds of thousands of Indian nationals that are very frustrated that they're waiting so long and they want this new rule to come. But if the way this rule is designed, if they do come, that's going to crowd out and push out and create long delays for people in other countries. So, if that rule changes, is it easier or is it better or is it worse or is it harder? It really depends on many different factors. It's all future talk. Politicians say a lot of things. Whether you can rely on what they say that's actually going to happen or not, we don't know. President Obama promised the world, and we didn't get much after that. So I'm not. It was really bad on Trump, and if he still continues president, it's going to be horrible. But what will happen after that? That's really just speculating, and I'm not really into just making things up just to get views. I really want when something happens and we know it's a fact, then we'll deal with it. But for me to just say, yeah, this may happen, that may happen, that's just like watching a movie or something like that. It's not real. So I don't really want to give opinions about that. Dosh says, our embassy is going to open up soon, specifically Guatemala. Again, that's not up to me. It's a COVID-19 situation, up to the State Department and how comfortable they are with opening their embassy, as well as local rules. Each country may shut things down. Syed says, sir, I'm on a bond. My case is in court. It is 3 years. Can I claim my bond? Syed, I don't handle court immigration hearings and those kind of situations, so I wouldn't want to advise on that. Let's see, we got some more questions. Amir asks, what is the process for spouse visa? How long does it take? Well, I go download my guide, www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I have a no-cost free ultimate marriage green card guide that breaks down the process there. Essentially, you apply to show that your relationship is real, and you also apply for a green card. How long it takes, it depends. It varies. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. And some cases won't be successful. Some will be. Some may go longer. So it's not a real answer. It really depends on the case and just what happens in life. Just like we had a previous questions about a spouse of a green card holder, their case would have been done after 2 years, but Trump came and put a travel ban, and all of a sudden their case may be taking 3 years. So when you ask how long does it take, we could sit down and talk about that so I could break down every single part of it so you understand how the timelines work. But it's not an answer I could just give willy-nilly like that that's responsible. I'm not going to just come out public and say something that's not true. Gil asks, inside the United States, adjustment of status faster with U.S. citizen spouse or LPR with legal entry? Typically, spouse of a U.S. citizen case will be faster, but not 100% of the time. But typically, a spouse of a U.S. citizen case will be faster. All right, let's see. Estefan asks, can non-citizens work for federal government jobs? It depends on what the job is. When you say non-citizens, that could include green card holders. Sometimes, yeah, green card holders can be, but if you're working, for example, for a defense company that's dealing with, private confidential stuff for the military, no, you have to be a U.S. citizen. It really depends on the job that you're looking for, but it's not 100% that you have to be a U.S. citizen to work many jobs. It depends on what the job is. So there's no catch-all, federal government has to be this. It really depends on the specific job, the specific agency that you're working for or trying to work for. You're welcome, Amir. White Shooting Star, thank you so much for sharing the live video. I appreciate it. Thank you everyone who's connecting. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube page, the JQK Law Firm YouTube page. Also go live on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, live on the Instagram page, JQK Law Firm. Live on YouTube, as I said, JQK Law. We do that live here as well. We have multiple streams coming to talk about everything that's going on. Now, one question that is still coming up is what's going on with the public charge rule. It stops, it comes back, it stops, it comes back. Right now, the public charge rule for filing for adjustment of status, which is submitting Form I-944, is still a requirement. So you have to do that. Be prepared for submitting that with your application. It could be denied if you don't. Now, if President Biden, I'm not sure, it's not 100% that he's going to be president yet. It seems like it, but if he does come and he does take it away, that's a future thing. He's not going to be president until January. I think that's the timeline that works out. So as of now, you do have to submit Form I-944. However, when it comes to filing the public charge form for the embassy system for DS-5540, there's an injunction on that has not been overturned, which means you don't have to submit it there. Now, I've heard some embassy officials are still asking for it, even though it's not appropriate. But you got to keep in mind, even if you don't have to submit these forms, USCIS or Department of Home or DHS, the State Department, the embassy system, they always had the right to make a determination that someone is a public charge. They're going to have issues with supporting themselves in the United States. So that exists, and that could be a problem. So definitely get your documentation of your education, of your income, of your savings, of your health, all that stuff in order so that you can have a good defense if they try to accuse you of not being able to financially support yourself in the United States. Russia Shun says, hello, sir. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind of you to join on Instagram and join us today. We have a lot of new people coming on board on all the different channels. Thank you so much. It seems like Instagram's kind of died down. Usually I have 5 times the audience on Instagram, sorry, on TikTok. They always change these algorithms on these websites. So some are higher, some are lower. Same on YouTube, it's not popping up as much as usual, but feel free to ask any question that you have. Hello, Sumaya, appreciate joining. Feel free to ask questions. If I can answer, I will, or at least give you some guidance on which direction things are going. So again, thank you. And the diversity visa green card lottery has started up again. I'm not sure when the window closes for it, but a really quick note, 2 things I want to share and make sure you are aware of. One is there's no fee to apply. Now, there'll be fees later on when you actually have the case going and it's approved. But when you start, there's no fees. And unfortunately, there's a lot of websites when you go into Google and type in green card lottery and you're looking at that will charge you a fee to just give you the form or a link to the website. Those are scam sites. So you want to be very careful. The U.S. government has a website for submitting an application for the green card lottery. Make sure you do it properly so you don't get scammed out of money, or if someone says they have some sort of trick that could help you, that's very important not to fall for any of that. Secondly, as the rules are right now, you have to have a valid passport at the time that you apply. So in the past, people wouldn't have a passport and they only get the passport once they won the green card lottery, because obviously you need to have a passport to be able to apply and get a visa or a green card eventually. But they want you to have a passport that's valid at the time of applying. So if you're thinking of applying for the green card lottery, get your passport first, have it issued, then apply, and hopefully make it within the window for next year. Who knows what's going to happen next year, but at least file and apply for it. You don't lose any money. It's just, fill in an application. I'd recommend people do that in general. Somebody asked, do you have any great news about green cards for spouse? Yeah, people are getting it. That's good news. This program's still open. Sunny asked, my hearing got canceled because of COVID. Do I need to send any notice to court to get a new hearing? No, you have to wait for, if you have a court hearing that's canceled, you have to wait for the court to schedule a new one and to notify you. Hopefully they will, and it won't get lost in the mail or something. Musi asks, what does it mean when USCIS marriage-based green card line says new card is being produced? Well, that means your green card has been, well, it depends on which page you're looking for. But if it says that for the Form I-485, that typically means that your case is approved and they're in the process of printing your green card. So when it says new card is being produced, and when you're doing the USCIS.gov case status check and it says that, that means that they approved your case and a green card is in the factory being printed to be sent to you. So that's great news. Congratulations on having your green card case approved, and hopefully you'll get the green card in the mail soon. Keep an eye on it. Make sure if it's supposed to be a 2-year conditional green card that it is. It's not a 10-year green card. Make sure your name and stuff are spelled correctly on it. And if you do need to file removal of conditions, Form I-751, you schedule it on your calendar to remind yourself 1 year and 9 months from the day you get the green card or the issuance of the green card to submit that application. Be careful so you don't miss that out. So my follows up says, my husband is in Dubai and I'm in the US, so I'm in the Dubai consulate. So my, well, the Dubai consulate doesn't handle marriage cases. It's in Abu Dhabi. Right now they're very small open. It's very difficult to do anything with them. But if they open up more, you know, they could, I need to know more about your case, but just the basics are, first of all, Dubai doesn't do marriage cases. And secondly, hopefully it'll open up and let your case in, but I need to know more information. Swippy says, you should hire a social worker. Me, I'm the social worker. I don't really know what I do with a social worker, but I'm happy that you're doing that kind of work and helping people out. God bless. I appreciate that. So yeah, the biggest question I get every day from people is, you know, what's happening with the embassies? Are they opening? Are they, you know, scheduling times? When can we get some information? And unfortunately, they don't really share information to anybody. The head of the State Department went on the internet and said, you know, we're going to continue Trump's administration for another 4 years. So that's the head person saying that kind of stuff in the middle of the mix of all this. So, you know, it's very difficult. It's not possible to answer this stuff, and they don't communicate well, so we have no idea. Marash asks, USCIS has my fingerprints. I was in asylum status, and I just got married, and USCIS accepts my case. Did, and then we don't have the rest of the questions. I don't know. I don't know what your question is, Marash. Go Curry asks, divorce with U.S. citizen. While my I-751 waiver is being processed, can I apply for N400 3-year rule? Well, you have to be married and living with your spouse to be able to use the 3-year rule. There are some exceptions if there's abuse and stuff like that, but you know, I have to look that up. I can't say off the top of my head. Mark says, do they take my fingerprints again? They may. It's up to them. They may or may not. So this person had an asylum case where they got the fingerprints. Now they're doing a marriage case. Do they need to do fingerprints again? It's an internal decision by USCIS whether your case will be subject to the fingerprints or not. It's not 100% either way. Grandpa asks, we've been USA for 4.5 years. We all went outside the country one time, and it's only for 1 month. So when do we apply for citizenship? 4 years or after 5 years? Well, you have to be a green card holder for at least 4 years and 9 months to begin applying. So there's no 4 years there. But with regards to your specific case, I don't know the specific facts. If you've just been outside for 1 month, then yeah, I mean, you could submit a citizenship or naturalization form N400 application 4 years and 9 months after getting the green card. But I don't know your individual case and what kind of issues you have. You should consult an attorney private. But there's no 4 years. There's 4 years and 9 months. That they let you do it 90 days early. So 90 days before the 5-year mark. I should probably say 90 days before the 5-year mark, not 3 months, but potentially 3 months could be 92 days. So be careful on that, but that's something you got to check out, and we got to look at the case. D. Kundai says, just got my 10-year green card, never had a 2-year green card. How soon can I apply for citizenship? If you've been married and living with a U.S. citizen, you can file for citizenship as soon as 2 years and 9 months. But we need more details. But if you aren't married to a green card holder, then a U.S. citizen, I'm sorry, if you're a green card holder that's not married to a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years, then you got to wait the 5 years or 4 year 9 months kind of thing. Lovepreet asks, how long does it take to process Form I-944? That form is not processed itself. It's Form I-485, adjustment of status, and it varies depending on the case and the location and the issues involved in the case. There's no specific answer. You're welcome, Rashi. Musi follows up, what does it mean? Well, we answered that question already. Prop says, how long does it take for a silent green card after fingerprints are done? There's no specific timeline. It could be 3 months, it could be 3 years. Who said, I've been documentarily qualified and we're waiting for an interview. It's been over a year. Should I consult a lawyer? No, the embassies are mostly shut down. So even if you're documentarily qualified with the National Visa Center to have an interview, the embassy you're working with may not be open to actually schedule the interview. So you have to wait and be patient for that to open up. Russia Shun has asked, Russia Shahun, is there any way to make the process of a 1-year-old child go faster so she can travel with her mother that is waiting for an interview? I need to know more about your case, but maybe. I'm not sure why. I got to see what's going on. Why didn't you file together at the same time? The child may already have status because of the other parent, Russian. So you could always make a request. But it depends on the facts. I don't have enough facts here to be able to properly answer your question to the fullest extent. Sejadi says, USCIS received my I-485 application almost 25 days ago, but I'm still waiting for the receipts. Yeah, USCIS has been inundated with applications and they're short-staffed. So, it used to take 2 weeks, then 3 or 4 weeks. Now it's like 5 or 6 weeks. Waiting for a receipt for an application has become normal. That's what's happening right now. It's nerve-wracking. It's very, very bad because let's say something happens and you don't get the receipt. You don't have time to refile if you've already had a status or have some issues like that. But right now, getting receipts, just getting the check cash for the case or the filing fees accepted, which happens before you get notification by the receipt, is taking 4 or 5 weeks easily, and it's very nerve-wracking. But that's the situation right now. Thank you, Grandpa. Gokuri says, my U.S. citizen mentally abused me, false police report against me. Can I qualify for a 3-year rule? Maybe, but I don't know the details of a 3-year rule application for citizenship based on abuse. I haven't had that situation, so that's something I'd have to research. I don't have an answer at the top of my head. Sandeep says, can the I-485 and EAD be filed together? Yes, typically they are filed together. So you file Form I-485 and Form I-765 together. I always do that together. It's custom, it's standard. You're welcome, Who's. All right. Jot asks, good idea to travel on advanced parole while adjustment of status pending through marriage. Whether it's a good idea, generally it's better not to travel, but it depends on your personal circumstances, your need, and a lot more about your background. I don't know the specifics of your background to see, even if you have advanced parole approved, whether it's still going to be problematic with CBP customs upon return. So I can't advise you individually if it's a good idea or not. Generally, don't travel because the laws could change overnight, but it depends on how important that travel is for you. Russian follows up, they tried to apply for her U.S. passport. They did refuse because the father didn't complete the 5 years in the U.S. Okay, so the father should file for I-130 if they weren't able to transmit citizenship. They should contact USCIS to let them know that the I-130 is pending, and that's that. Yeah, sorry. But that's that. It might be more stuff. I do need to read your case. There may be some exceptions. There may be ways to get things in directly with the embassy. So there's a lot of things that there's a lot of rare things you could try, but I can't really go through them here. Maybe consult with an attorney beforehand. Sachin asks, hello, I applied for I-130 6 months ago. That's a petition for alien relative. I haven't heard anything back. How long does it normally take? Well, there's no normal. But it could be 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years. It depends on what kind of case you have, what kind of issues, which service center has it, and how good the officer is about completing the work. Sanu says, hi sir, my interview is done October 29th. How long time to wait my green card? There is no deadline. It just depends on when the office is done with it. Musi Fisha asks, when I check my case status online, it changed to your green card is being produced. We'll mail it to you. Musi, you asked the same question on Instagram and I answered you. That means congratulations, your green card has been approved and it's being sent to you or mailed to you. Tiat says, how long for EAD for I-485? There is no exact timeline. Hopefully 4 to 6 months. Could be more, could be less. Sandy follows up, can I stay in the USA only if my I-485 is filed or my EAD should also be filed? Now, once you file a properly filed I-485, you could stay in the United States in a period of authorized stay. Whether you file the EAD or not does not matter for that. Tad, thank you so much for sending the flowers. I appreciate it. Grandpa follows up, so can I apply for U.S. citizenship after 4 years and 9 months? So do I minus 1 month that I was outside? Grandpa, that goes too much into giving you private case advice. Please schedule a consultation, but look to 90 days before the 5-year mark. That's what you should look for. And look at the application. The instructions completely break down this kind of stuff. But I would need to have a private consultation to really go this individual advice that you're asking for. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to just say, give you a guidance without seeing you and talking with you. Sandy follows up, if my EAD is approved, but my I-485 gets rejected later, what happens? Well, if your I-485 gets rejected, that's the basis of the I-485 application for adjustment of status, then your whole case falls apart. Your I-485 will be denied, your EAD will become invalidated, voided, and you're out of luck. You'll be put in removal. You potentially put in removal proceedings. Bestone asks, "Hi sir, I'm an asylee. Can I travel outside the U.S. without a green card? Thanks." If you're an asylee and you want to travel internationally, you have to apply for what's called a refugee travel document. You should do so as soon as possible because it'll take a long time to actually get that. Even if you're a green card holder, you will need a passport, but because you're an asylee, you're not supposed to use the passport of your home country. So the green card aspect here is not what's important. It doesn't apply. It's the passport, which you can't use because you're an asylee. So you have to request a refugee travel document. Once you have a refugee travel document, you have to note that you may have to get visas for the countries you're visiting, and many countries don't accept travel by people that have refugee travel documents. So there's a lot of annoying things you have to deal with. Hopefully you get your U.S. citizenship passport as soon as possible to help secure that, but the green card itself is not what your focus should be on. What it is some sort of travel document, which could be a refugee travel document, and again, you shouldn't use your passport if you're an asylee, so that's very important. Aslan says, "Hello sir, good to see you here. I have a question." Well, Aslan, just go ahead and ask your question. I'll see if I can answer that. Tad, thank you so much for sending me the bag of money. I appreciate that. Grandpa says, "Cool, you're welcome." Aslan follows up, "I applied for conditional removal of CR1, applied in March. I haven't received any updates or biometrics." Yeah, so these kind of cases could take 2 years sometimes, and so you have to wait on that. And whether they want biometrics or not is not clear. It could easily be a year before they notify you that they already have your biometrics. So essentially, you just need to wait. That's about it. Grandpa says, "How much is a consultation fee?" For a basic consultation on citizenship is $250 for 30 minutes. Ben says, "Thank you, sir, so much. You're welcome." Mohammed said, joined, "Thank you so much." And Dekulna, thank you for joining as well. Thank you for everyone who's joined and following up. It's great to meet you all. Aslan says, "Can I call them, sir, the USCIS?" Sure, I would. You can do whatever you want to do. That's not sure why I asked him if you call them. Sure. You stay blessed and God bless you too, Aslan. Thank you so much. So we're nearing the end of the show. We started a little early today. But let me know if you have some final questions before we end. Just as a reminder for those who are interested in a marriage or fiance case, if you go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, you could download the free no-cost ultimate marriage green card guide that breaks down the process and fills you know what's going on. So you can use that before you talk with the immigration lawyer, get started. Really help out a lot. Go check it out. You're welcome, Sandeep. Appreciate that. Hulk Sherry, thanks for joining on Instagram. Mohammed says, "Why TikTok not verified yet?" I don't know. Verification isn't up to me, but if you could do anything to help me out with that, I appreciate it. Nico says, "How long it take the embassy process the case?" It varies. And then how long embassy started a CR1 phase? The timeline, does embassy start a CR1 visa? The embassy starts and finishes its portion of the case, but how long it takes for them to do that or how long it takes for the embassy to get it, it varies. Hopefully the embassy won't take 1, 2, or 3 months more than that. When the embassy will have time to see you, it depends on if they're open and how busy they are. It's really up to them and how they think about your case. So it varies drastically. I have a case in Paris and in China that was scheduled a month after the embassy approved all documents. The embassy took 2 or 3 weeks to approve it. But I have a case in Canada and Russia. It's been 6 months now. They're just sitting on it. Nothing's moving forward. So it really depends on the country, the case, the situation on the ground. It varies a lot. So definitely just be patient is the biggest thing you have to understand. U.S. immigration system is very harsh and unforgiving. Muhammad says, "Tomorrow I will mail them. That's your name and all the information is there." Tomorrow I will mail them. That's your name and all information is there. Muhammad, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Please rephrase your question. Aslan says, "Can I apply for citizenship through your firm? Please, your contact information regards." Well, first I have to have a consultation to see whether we could do citizenship, whether I can accept your case. But email my office at info@jqqlaw.com. Again, that's info@jq as in Queen, K as in King law.com. Since you're on TikTok, you go to my profile. There'll be a link. That's a link tree that has all my reviews and websites, all that stuff. You'll see my contact information on that page outside. You can take a look there. We can schedule a video consultation and break down what's going on. Please note there is a fee for, as I mentioned earlier, for citizenship is $250 for a 30-minute consultation. But if you'd like to do that, just email me and we can set it up. Samuel asks, "I'm military on deployment. Approximately how long for wife's green card application?" There is no approximate timelines for that. It's whenever they have time to see you. Mohammed says, I'm talking about your TikTok verification. Mohammed, oh, sorry, I lost track with all the questions. I appreciate that. Yes, please do. I don't know what the rules are. I think they want some more recognition of some sort, but I won a lot of awards for as being an immigration attorney. They're on my website. They're on my profiles and stuff. And I'm a professor and all that stuff. Hopefully that helps out, but who knows? It'd be cool to have verification. That'd probably help out somewhat. Thank you, Mohammed, for bringing that up and keep an eye out. Push says, do you have anything about public charge? I'm not understanding. It's about sponsoring, cannot sponsor. Public charge is about the foreign person and whether they could support themselves individually in the United States. Do they make enough money? Can they work? How's their health conditions? Are they have debts? Do they have money? Do they have education? What are their English skills? It's an analysis to see, is this person who's going to be living in the United States, are they broke or are they not broke? Are they going to have to ask the government for money or are they not going to ask for money? So it's that kind of general analysis that's happening in the public charge rule. Saad, when's the embassy in Islamabad going to open? You should contact them and ask them. Rando says, did you say 3 minutes? I don't know what you're talking about, Rando. I lost track. Mandy asks, how about your child who has applied before 21 years complete and it's been 4 years, case still? I don't know, Mandy. First of all, you said this is kind of hard, but I have to review your question in private. Jod says, who is eligible for TPS? Well, go to uscis.gov or just type in TPS. There's several different countries that have TPS. Who's eligible? It depends on a lot of different factors, when they came and all this kind of stuff and what their background is. And it's just too big a question to say who's eligible for TPS. It's just too unwieldy a question to be able to answer here. Definitely check out uscis.gov first for information about that, to schedule a consultation with the lawyer if you think you could use that. My 30 minutes, 30, half an hour. It varies depending on the case type. So some things need more time. For a marriage case, for example, I give more time. For a citizenship case, 30 minutes enough. If you're getting a marriage case, it's more time. If you're doing like an investor case, we'll need more time. So it varies. But just email me with the specifics of your case so I can see what's going on, and then I can tell you how much the consultation fee is. During the consultation, I don't review forms or give you advice on how to fill out the forms. It's really to break down your whole case history, to spot issues, and to plan out the strategy for the case. Buford asks, do you have to include Form I-864 with your employment-based I-485? Most employment-based Form I-485 cases do not require Form I-864 affidavit of support. It's only required if the person, the company that's sponsoring you, is owned by a relative that's a U.S. person that owns, a significant portion of the company, or there's like two exceptions for it. One is if your relative that's a U.S. person owns it. Mark asks, this is too ridiculous, the I-944. How can the foreign person support himself in the U.S. without no job or income? Yeah, it's really ridiculous. They also ask for your credit report, even though you may not have a social security number. There's a lot of ridiculous stuff. You have to spend a bunch of money translating and getting equivalencies for your education. I 100% agree with what you're saying. The form is completely ridiculous, very frustrating. It's very time-consuming to do, too. It's a very sad situation. Pushpa says, okay, my father is military, disabled, retired, and makes enough to sponsor. Does that apply to us? I don't know, Pushpa. I have to review the whole case. I can't tell you how something works like that. Also, thank you for sharing the live. Watchu says, can you tell me green card possible, CR2 visa? That's case specific. I need to see what's possible for you individually, so I don't know. Pushpa says, about public charge thing they are doing. About that public charge thing they are doing. Again, Pushpa, I don't know. I can't give you case-specific advice. I have to talk with you and your family. Lovepreet says, I filed for my adjustment of status on October 13th in New York, but no receipt, any updates. Yeah, I talked about this a little earlier. There's a huge backlog of cases, and it's taking forever, taking weeks and weeks, sometimes more than a month, to get the receipts for the case. So October 13th, right now it's November 11th. Hopefully next week or so you'll get receipts. If it's not rejected, you'll probably get a week or so. But that's a major disaster we're having. We're filing these cases and USCIS is not letting us know whether it's accepted or not. You're just caught up in the air and trying to figure out what's going on. So with that, Pushpa, my consultation fee, probably you have to email me, is probably $250 for 30 minutes. That's what it usually is for that kind of case, for a public charge discussion. But if you like to schedule time, email me, describe what your situation is, and we can talk about it then. But with that, thank you everyone who joined us today. As a reminder, this is general information. Things could change, fees could change, the rules could change, everything could change. And that's what we've seen under President Trump. That's had a big effect on that. So the last question, Sandy says, EB-53 start or not? and you can do whatever you want to do. That's you know, it's like, should I have a kid or should I not have a kid? That's up to you. So that's with that. Thank you all for joining so much. We'll see you next week. But you can find this video, clips of this video, other videos and images of approval notice, app timelines, all this kind of stuff. You can find that on the JQK Law Firm's YouTube page, on Instagram page, Facebook as well. And the best thing to do if you have a marriage green card case, you have questions, is to first download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. With that, I'd like to thank my wife, my family for helping out everything, and my team. You know, Lawrence, Wilfredo, Dan, Erica, and everyone else is helping us the process to get this out and help everyone out with this information. God bless. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.